At the time of writing, Battlefield 2042's early access portion of the beta has started, and currently, it's unplayable. I expected to make a video on the game design choices and maybe some new features in 2042, but at the moment I can't even do that, because the game is simply unplayable. Now I am playing on Xbox One for reference, but I've heard some of these problems have struck everyone from Series X to PC. Right now it feels like I'm a fucking QA tester, like it's not even an alpha, let alone a beta. This game is nowhere near ready. Let's just run down a list of a few of the problems I've encountered. Oh, by the way, you can't even record clips of this game on Xbox, so since I'm not privileged enough to have a capture card, I can't even show you the game right now. Almost like they don't want people to see it. Anyways, let's start with input, because if you can't even control your character, you obviously can't play the game, unless it plays for you, which has been happening for some players, with the game moving forward and shooting without any input on the player's behalf, along with a continuous glitch where, and I have proof of this, if you adjust the volume on your TV, it claims your controller is disconnected, despite obvious evidence to the contrary, and the message never goes away until you quit the application, preventing you from playing. So make sure you don't drop your TV remote while playing 2042 unless you plan to restart your Xbox, because 9 times out of 10 I can't even start the game without the game being stuck on the title screen where you were supposed to press A to continue. And the only way to fix this is to do a hard restart of your console. You can't just turn it off normally, or even quit the application. Oh, no. You have to be seeing that green Xbox boot screen if you want to play Battlefield 2042. Now, for the most part, those are just glitches. And you know, it's a beta. Alright, what about the 2-second input delay at times between your actions? Yeah, input won't be perfect in a beta, but I can press a button sometimes and sit there waiting for it to register my input. Sometimes it won't at all, or the aiming can just feel god awful. This is quite honestly one of the worst aiming experiences I've ever had in my at least 16 years of gaming. It doesn't just feel like it's fighting you, but that it only wants to do what it wants to do. Going completely different directions, slugging behind my movements, or just not even responding at all. Even with some tweaking in the settings, it still feels like I'm playing on a broken controller over a dial-up connection. It is miserable to experience. In fact, you can't even switch your controls. The game only shows the name of the control schemes and not the controls themselves. And even when you select custom, nothing pops up that you can change. So I can't change the fact that you throw grenades with up on the D-pad. What the fuck? Staying somewhat on the subject of input, there are horrible issues with their netcode. Yes, it is a beta, but Halo Infinite's technical test wasn't even technically a beta, but it was playable. I'll shoot at an enemy, and it feels like no matter what, I'm shooting behind them or ahead of them. I'm shooting at the shadow of where they're supposed to be, and not where they actually are now. At this point, betas are just marketing tools, and even then they are somewhat playable, or else they wouldn't be released to the public to play. They have QA testers to test the game. Betas are mainly for stress testing and getting it in the hands of players. But the way the shooting feels is abysmal. Maybe this is an issue with aim assist or something, but it feels like you're always fighting against something when you aim at a target, and that none of your aiming is on target no matter what. This is only seconded by the delays in all other UI features or sound in the game, like hit markers, nameplates, or the dots indicating if someone is a friendly, or even messages saying you killed someone, and even the sound of your gun shooting. All of these show up late, sometimes seconds late, or linger on your screen long after you're done with that action. Your gun will stutter, including vibration, muzzle flash, and more, so it's hard to tell if you're even firing your weapon and hitting your enemy. It's as if the game is being broken at every single action I take. These and numerous other glitches, which occur during combat, from elements of sounds being missing, your weapons and such just not making sounds at all, or seeing the inside of my gun model, half of the outside of my gun model, and parts of the clip inside of my pistol, until my gun just disappeared, make fighting enemies in the game even more confusing. The experience of playing Battlefield 2042 currently is just miserable. And this isn't just to say that I want 2042 to fail. With Vanguard looking extremely promising to me, and Infinite bringing together a warring community while introducing new players to Halo, it looks to be a great year for shooters. Hell, for gaming in general. With games like Dying Light 2 still to come. I would love more than anything for it to be the 2010s again, with Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Halo just dominating my time. But at the looks of it, Battlefield is in a very scary place right now. And EA has a horrible track record with live service titles. Hell, they just have a horrible track record in general, dropping anything that doesn't immediately smell of money to them. And with only 7 original maps made for 2042 at launch, which is an important distinction, considering the amount of new features in this title that were never present in previous ones, like the multiple capture points per objective, and the 128 player count, and 10 operators, which are essentially just gadgets with skins associated with them. That's not a lot of content to burn through, especially considering we have no info on their third mode, Hazard Zone, as of yet, and Portal is a custom games plus, relying on previous installments' nostalgia to sell you on it. And the game is essentially a different product on last-gen consoles, considering it's just more of the old Battlefield on those systems, because it lacks any of the biggest standout features of this title, like the 128 player count, or really utilizing the multiple zones per objective. Not even considering how the maps are shrunken down as well, so you're not even getting the same play space on these consoles. It just doesn't look like Battlefield 2042 will last long. And this is especially sad because, well, some of my empathy is lacking due to the hive mind mentality that caused this, but many people have already pre-ordered this title. Some of them being people that don't necessarily play games often, but maybe buy 1 or 2 a year, playing primarily what their friends are playing so they can have something to do, to unwind after school or a long day at work. They aren't necessarily worried about this and that with EA or about what this Xbox version has over the other one. They just want to play what's hot right now with everyone else and have some fun. And they and so many others are going to be receiving an abysmal product that's nowhere near ready for launch. And we as a gaming community are going to be missing out on our Battlefield title for this year, and the foreseeable future as well, as Battlefield is not an annual franchise, leaving yet another hole in the AAA shooter market, like Halo 5 and many a COD title have done before it. I would still love to give my opinions on the game's actual systems and gameplay, and I'll see if I can with the game working in its current state for me. But until then, you can check out my recent video on why I'm also worried for Vanguard's future, and look out for a video soon on Halo Infinite's BTB. Until next time, I'm Parker Fox, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.